Painful Victory. Writer, Lista Austin. Episode 2. Grace often visited Blessing, ostensibly to offer support. But she had a hidden agenda. She saw the horrors of Felix's abuse and the way he treated Blessing with contempt. Every visit deepened her secret longing. Grace couldn't help but think that if she were in Blessing's place, she could make Felix happy. She believed she could be the perfect wife he desired, one who would give him the male child he so desperately wanted. This thought consumed her, filling her with envy and bitterness. "I don't understand why Blessing is so careless," she would say with a sigh. "She doesn't seem to appreciate all you do for her. Felix, maybe if she were more attentive, things would be better." Felix, already frustrated and angry, found himself agreeing with Grace more and more. Her words planted seeds of doubt and resentment in his mind. Grace was careful not to make her intentions obvious. She continued to play the role of a concerned friend, but behind Blessing's back, she painted her in a negative light. She would tell others how ungrateful and useless Blessing was, how she was failing as a wife and mother. Grace believed that by tarnishing Blessing's image, she could make herself appear as the better choice for Felix. One Sunday afternoon, Grace was visiting when Blessing returned from church. As she heard the familiar sound of Blessing's car horn, Grace quickly excused herself, running to the back door to avoid being seen. She slipped out just as Felix, filled with the poison of Grace's words, was waiting inside. Blessing entered the house, sensing something was off. Felix's eyes were dark with anger, and his jaw was clenched. Without warning, he erupted, his voice echoing through the house. "Prostitute!" he shouted, his face red with fury. "I knew that favor isn't mine. Take her and get out of my house. I don't want to see you again." The accusation hit Blessing like a punch to the gut. She stood frozen, shocked by his words. "What are you talking about, Felix?" she stammered, trying to make sense of the situation. Felix didn't respond. Instead, he grabbed her by the arm and roughly pushed her towards the door. Blessing stumbled but managed to catch herself. "Please, Felix, let's talk about this," she pleaded, but he was relentless. He pushed her out of the house and onto the road, where neighbors began to gather, drawn by the commotion. "Take your things and leave," Felix shouted, his voice filled with venom. "You're not welcome here anymore. You and that bee-starred child of yours can go." Tears streamed down Blessing's face as she looked at Felix, a mixture of fear and disbelief in her eyes. She had nowhere to go, no one to turn to. The neighbors murmured among themselves, shocked by the scene unfolding before them. As Blessing stood there, she felt the weight of her world crashing down. She couldn't understand how things had gone so wrong so quickly. She had no idea that Grace, her supposed friend, had been the one whispering poison into Felix's ears, fanning the flames of his anger and insecurities. She looked back at the house, the place that had once been her home, and then at Felix, who now seemed like a stranger. The cold, hard truth settled in her heart. She had lost everything. As she turned and walked away, the weight of her situation bore down on her, leaving her feeling lost and broken. Grace's envy and ambition finally pushed her to take a bold step. She decided that if she couldn't have Felix through subtle manipulation, she would be more direct. One afternoon, she dressed in a revealing outfit and went to visit Felix. Her plan was simple: seduce him and solidify her place in his life by discrediting Blessing completely.